Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'll be analyzing my certified copy of CA Foundation accounts paper of June 24 attempt, in which I scored 83.5 marks out of 100 and was also given a 2.5 marks grace. So a total of 86 out of 100 in accounts. So I'll be analyzing the paper and sharing you the tips for presentation, paper presentation for accounts paper. In the previous video, I had analyzed my law answer sheet. So please do check that video too. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also like this video and share it with your friends. So let's start with the video. So for the first question itself, which they ask, is a theory question, in which they ask the true and false and 4 marks theory question and 4 marks practical question. So as you all can see that in the true or false, in the first question itself, I've highlighted the key points. For example, the question was that if the purchases appear in the trial balance, then then only one effect is needed to be required. So the answer is true, and I give the reason, about half-page reason. And it's very important to know that length does not matter. What matters is the keywords. They want the ICI language to be copied in your answer sheet. So just copy paste the ICI module. Just go through the first and the second chapter, because theory questions mostly come from those chapters of CA Foundation accounts module. So as you all can see, I've highlighted the keywords already adjusted in purchase. So the answer is true, and I've been given 2 marks, which is very great, because it is 2 out of 2. And for the next question, I've highlighted the error of commission, and also the length does not matter. It's because of my handwriting. Presentation is important, but mostly the quality matters, and the spacing between the words matters, and the highlighting of the keywords matters. Handwriting doesn't matter, because I'm a live example, you guys can see. So yeah, moving forward, I again got a 2 mark, and I've written only 5 lines in that question. The answer is false. I've got 2 marks, and you all can see the limitation of accounting standard is it can never override the statute and needs to be within the ambit of it. So you can see the keywords, it's copy pasted from the ICI, so they need only this, nothing from the of own words, only the ICI language is required. And yeah, I've almost scored 2 to 1.5, 2, and again 2, and one question went wrong, in which I scored 0, and again a 2. So you can see it's easy to score full out of full in true or false if you by heart the language of the ICI module for at least first and the second chapters in the module. And again, in the question 1B, it's a theory question. I got 1.5 plus 1, so total 2.5 out of 4 marks. You can see what are the question was, what are accounting principles, and in what situation can the accounting principles can be changed. So I've highlighted the key points. I wrote the exact definition of the module, and for the situation in which it can be changed, it is to comply with the law or statute, to meet the provisions of accounting standards, and under change circumstance, a change in accounting policy will ensure improved presentation of financial statement and hence fair view of state of affairs. So you can see I've written the exact module language. So yeah, length does not matter. What matters is the quality. Be it the law paper or the accounts paper, they are hungry for the keywords of ICI module. So please, it's a request to all my Jan 25 students to by heart at least the first and second chapter of accounts for theory, because the questions are going to be coming from those 2 chapters. And if you write the exact language of the ICI module, nobody can stop you from scoring full out of full. Again, for the theory question, it is the same format, no format, of course. And moving on to the next question. Now for the journal entry, question number 1C, I mistakenly wrote question number 2C. Thank you ICI for not cancelling the question itself. They granted me marks. And talking about the journal entries, most of you have doubt about the narration part. So you can see the narration, it is quite short. Being goods purchased at 10% trade discount, GST applied, bracket closed. So being ... bracket closed. This is the narration. You don't have to prepare extra anything. Just I would suggest first write the entries, leave 3 lines, and write the second entry, and go on solving the next question, and come back after completing the entire paper and write the narration again after that, because even if in case you forgot to write the narration or you don't have the time to write the narration, they won't cut your marks for that. So yeah, for the also for the second entry, you can see being goods sold at 40% amount and 40% amount received by check. So simple narrations being drawings made and GST reversed. Simple narrations being dot bracket closed. This is narration over. And now moving on to the question number 5A. And also I didn't follow any particular pattern of solving the paper. For example, starting off with the first question itself compulsory. I'm showing you for the better presentation that from the first question, but actually I don't remember, I solved the first wait a second, I solved the question number second first, and then the question number and question number 1, that is theory question, at the last. So there's no compulsion of solving the questions line by line. Question 5 was on inventories, and in which was asked for 5 marks. Module question, they mixed 2 questions together and made a new question, but it was module question. All the adjustments were from module. So I scored 5. You can see no such format is being followed. The handwriting is rubbish. It's like very bad. The presentation is okay, but the answer is right. And I mentioned each and every small point. For example, gross profit, less gross profit, 20% in sales, value of stock on 10th, opening value of stock at cost, details, amount, particulars, lines I've made from scale. And also I've written a note down there for 20%, 25% gross profit on cost is equal to 20% on sale. You guys must be knowing this note, about this note, so also mention this note. And they have also corrected it. For the question 5B, I made a blunder in this. It was a bank reconciliation statement question. Still they cut only 1 marks for it, and I scored 4 out of 5. I made adjusted cash book. Note, I've written a note. Year ends at 31st March 24. Assuming the year ends at 31st March 24. So I made adjusted cash book, but even if you don't make, it's okay. So you can see there's no particular, there's no format as such, only the particular. I've written the debit credit because my sir told to write it. So I just wrote it, debit credit. And for the BRS, particulars, details, amount. And now moving on to the journal, again a journal question what is this chapter? Okay, company accounts, particulars, date. I've used the margin as well, you guys can see, date, particulars, LF, debit credit, equity share. You can see the narration, being final call made, being money received, being share forfeited. So this has to be simple. Don't waste your time in writing the narrations. Be smart and focus on writing the entries first. Leave 1 to 2 lines for the narration and move on to the next entry, and then solve the entire question. And at the end, write the narration if you have time. So moving on, for the format for the second question 2A, that is rectification of errors, normal entries, being sales return book undercast. Look at the narrations. I mean, being ... being freight on machine charged to freight rectified, being sales return wrongly entered in sales book. Simple narrations, date, particulars, LF, debit, credit. Don't forget to write in the books of Mr. Sarvesh Kumar journal. About 10 entries, yes, all correct. And I also made the suspense account, for which was right eventually, of course, but they they had not asked for making it, but I made it. So I got a full 12 out of 12. And this question, depreciation, which was they made a mistake of giving a retrospective effect. Actually, it is not allowed, because for change in accounting estimate, the effect has to be prospective. So I couldn't solve it, and I did the working note, for which I got 0.5, and overall only 2.5 marks I scored. Moving on to the next question, number 3A. Okay, NPO. You can see the presentation, it's too shabby, but all the figures, all the amounts are perfectly clear. For the salaries, I didn't make the salaries account. I showed the calculation there itself. You can see the amounts I have shown in the particulars column itself. One column for income and expenditure. And wherever I've made a working note, I've mentioned, for example, for the sports and equipment, depreciation on sports and equipment 10,500. You can see I've made the working note. And for the library books, also depreciation on library books, I made the working note, so I mentioned WN3. So yeah, this small for the subscription I made, of course for the subscription the working note is compulsory, like you have to make it. I made working note 4, so I mentioned WN4. So these small things will grant you marks. I've circled the surplus 8,100, all correct. And then the balance sheet as on 30, this is a closing balance sheet. I've not made 2 columns for the amount. Moving on, working notes, opening balance, balance sheet, opening balance sheet. I got the capital fund balancing figure. They've corrected it, grant me 1 marks. Then for the sports equipment depreciation, I made the sports equipment account, WN2 I mentioned. For the library books and for the subscription, I didn't made a account, but rather I shown in a statement format. And I got the financial credited to income and expenditure 2,95,500. So yeah, for the NPO also there's no specific format. The only income and expenditure particulars amount, balance sheet particulars amount, and in NPO working notes are must. So please make working note at least 3 to 4. And for the third question 3B, the dissolution part, realization account, as you can see in the books of the firm, debit credit I have written particulars amount. All the assets have been transferred, all the liabilities have been transferred. So I got the balancing realization profit, which is transferred to the capital accounts, 24,000. So in PQR capital account, partners capital account, as you can see I've used the margin as well. Most of you have this doubt whether to use the margin for partnership or not, because 3 columns, of course you can use it. Nobody did not cut my marks. And the cash and bank account, which tallies of course. And for the working note, I have made amount paid to creditors, because there was an adjustment of creditors took over patents and the balance was settled in cash, something like that. So yeah, moving on to the next part, which is question number 4A, which was about admission of partner. So the mistake I made here was, in case of admission of partner, the profit on revaluation profit is transferred only to the old partners, but by mistakenly I transferred it to the new partner as well. So yeah, it went wrong, but only like I still scored with the balance sheet of course tallied. And I made the working note for goodwill valuation, average profit goodwill into number of years of purchase. 2,10,000 was my goodwill, and then the adjusting entry for goodwill. So I scored 4 remain 9 out of 12. 3 marks got cut because of this silly mistake. And for the question number 4B, which is about question number 4B, okay, it is single entry system. And for the single entry system, you have to make the working notes of trade debtors, trade creditors. I mean, they've given me 3 marks for the working notes only. So it's very important because the balance also I must have mentioned it. See, as you can see, the by sales, cash and credit. For the credit sales, working note 2 was important. So yeah, this was the overall presentation for accounts. You can see there's no particular like presentation, it has to be proper. Just focus on solving the question paper first. Most of the students I've noticed are not even able to complete the question paper right at a speed of light from the starting itself, so that you don't feel the time pressure, and focus on completing the paper rather than like decorating and everything. You guys can see like my paper presentation was not so good, but I was able to still I was able to score 83.5 out of 100 and overall aggregate score of 345. So yeah, this was a video for analysis of my CA Foundation accounts answer sheet. So see you guys in the next video. Till then, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video. Bye.